in effect. And I think that might have, well, it's a dry break regardless, but it was illegal. Only 2 balls went past the head string and nothing down.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's one thing to look for. I wonder if Francisco would have even called it, if he's even aware of it.
Well, the players should be aware of it.
Yeah, oh, sure, it's important to sit there and watch. It's either 1 ball goes in the pocket, 2 balls past the head string, or a combination of that. But Francisco is up to the table. It's not a foul, so there's no ball in hand. They just take over the table.
And obviously Bustamante, one of the superstars, Hall of Famer.
Oh, yes.
He laid the foundation for all these great young Filipino players that we all see in America now.
And they're playing on a diamond 9-foot table with the XK2 Predator cloth. They're using Predator Arcos balls. In case you're wondering, when you see that cue ball with the little triangles, the black triangles on it, that's what it is. And the balls themselves are your classic colors. There's a number on one side of the ball and the Predator Black Panther on the other, where the number would be.
Well, Max is in a spot of trouble here already. Bustamante laying the trap. Whether or not Max is going to fall into it, time will tell. The 3 ball looks available. 4 looks like it goes past the 9 into the bottom left corner as we look. But it's there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah. He's got to masse this and try to cut it up by the 9 ball. Just make contact, and that worked out. Unfortunately, this gentleman coming to the table is a master of hiding that cue ball. A 1-pocket champion. He just won Derby City this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Not used to seeing Max with a mustache. Went out and said hi to him. I don't run into him that often anymore, just before, and I asked him where the caterpillar came from.
So that's what you call mustaches?
That's what we call them. Well, have a look at this now. There's a 3, the 4-9 look dead set to the bottom left corner. Well, Boosty does have a bank here. He'd have to try and take that cue ball into the 9 if he did attempt the bank.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going through his mind here. He's having another look at the 4-9.
He's wondering if he can make the 9 ball off this 3-4. But more than likely, he'll probably go for the run. No, it looks like he's winding up. Of course, he's always winding up. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
there
exactly
it
what
is.
he was looking for.
He needs that cue ball to start slowing down, though.
And it does.
And it obeys, and that's a beautiful way to start this match. A 3-4-9 combination for Boosty to secure his first rack. And against Eberle's break.
Yeah, that's a big one in the alternate break format. This is a race to 7, as Jim pointed out.
Yeah, shots like that, they don't come up very often. And I mean, it had to be played with a lot of pace.
Sure.
But he had to negotiate the contact from the 3, had to thin cut the 4 into the 9. But judged nicely.
This is a rack your own, and the 9 ball does count on the break. And we've seen a few of those as match enders in a couple of matches here and there. We had our very opening match where Niels Fayen, hill match, and he broke in the 9 ball for the first one of the tournament, actually, that we saw.
Get a chance now to see Boosty in his prime. One of the hardest breaks in the game.
And he pulls the cue all the way through his fingers. You ever noticed that? Watch his cue. See how it comes past his fingers? Comes past behind the bridge.
Yeah, he still hits him pretty hard, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah, he does.
And that's not a bad break. 1 down. He's got the 2 to the right side pocket. Position from the 2 to the 3. Not straightforward.
Looks like he'll come between the 6-5 and play the 3 in the opposite side pocket.
played to perfection.
Beautiful speed.
And just like that, he's got this rack by the throat. Always measured. Never looks like he's feeling the heat, Francisco.
Yeah, we all feel it. He just doesn't show it. He's gonna hit. Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna have to hit the 9-ball over towards in front of the pocket for game number 2.
All manufactured by a great break from the Hall of Famer, and a 2-0 advantage now over Max Eberle.
Well, you know, players talk about 9-ball. They always say the break is 9-ball's the break. A lot of it is the break.
You know, I say it so often. You know, if you've got a big break, you can compete against anybody. It's like having a big serve in tennis, or you know, knocking it 320 off the tee in golf. It's a powerful weapon.
And these guys are pretty well matched. Francisco is a 785 Fargo, where Max is a 748. So they're about 37 points difference. But at this level, a race of 7, it makes no difference. And that 2-0 lead can be erased pretty quick. On one stroke right here, you can get down to 2-1, as we've seen it done.
Well, both of these guys are artists on the table. I can tell you Max Eberle is an artist off the table as well, as he sets the cue ball where he's going to break rack number 3. He's got a blank canvas waiting for him after this event finishes, he was telling me. So the brush to canvas will follow in this event.
He made the 7 in the side pocket and another ball. He made 2 balls there, I think. 7 balls on the table. He's behind the 9, though, for this 1 ball.
Yeah, he's just looking at this, but he's not going to be jumping over the 9 here. Got to feel Max is just going to push out.
Where would you push to, Jim?
Well, you got to be so careful pushing against a guy like Bustamante with his experience. I mean, you don't want to get into a chess match, not with a grandmaster. Maybe over to the left side. Again, you don't want to make it too tough because
you'll give it back.
Sure, Busty will just put you back in. So over towards the left-hand side where he's standing, maybe leave the left-hand side of that 1 ball sticking out. You want to leave your opponent a non-aggressive safety.
He's going to go for the jump. He's getting this jump cue.
Well, that just tells me that the push out isn't easy, and that there's nowhere that he feels he can push out that he's going to gain any advantage.
Well, like you said, you have a grandmaster that you're going to push out against. What can you push out to that would be advantageous to you that he wouldn't figure out and use or even improve on? So he went for it, and it's given up the table. It's well spread. Everything's open.
Yeah, that couldn't have worked out a lot worse for Max. I mean, everything is wide open. Stop shot on the 1. 2 is right there. 3. And not a dream start.
We just got to hold it together and wait your turn.
Yeah, and you don't want to dig yourself too big a hole either. We found that yesterday. You know, the alternating break format, it's tough to claw your way back. You know, your opponent's always going to come to the table with the break.
And, you know, when this man right here that's shooting, his break is outstanding. As good as it gets. Francisco is, I think he'll be 56 this year. So
Yeah, I was
he's
surprised,
55.
actually, George, when you mentioned there was a 10-year differential.
Mhm.
Max looks
Mhm.
great for his age.
Sure.
Bustamante still strolls around the table like a dancer. I'd like to have that shot over, though.
Yeah, you want a little more spin on that ball to get around to dance around the 8-ball. This is a tough shot to follow down for the 9 for position. Being close to the ball like this. Well, actually, he made that look so easy.
Never touched a cushion.
Yeah.
Nine down. Everything is following suit here. 3-0 to the great man from the Philippines. And he's got the break in rack number 4.
Hall of Famer.
Spends a lot of time on the West Coast now. I was doing an event in Montreal called the Pagulayan Cup, and Alex and I were actually in an apartment together, and he was talks to Bustamante every morning.
Oh, really?
Every morning. We had him on the phone, and I hadn't seen him in a while, and he looks pretty rough in the morning. Mind you, there was a 3-hour time change there, so we might have woke him up.
Wow. I didn't know they were. I know they're
very good friends. Very good friends, and Alex will tell you that Bustamante is like a father to him.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. It's funny that you use Alex and talk about Alex that way. I made a road trip to Hard Times in Los Angeles, and Efren was playing all comers, giving him 10-7 in preparation for Derby City one pocket. And in entering Hard Times, Alex is racing the 15-ball ghost on one table. Efren's playing on the other, and Bustamante's playing on the other at the same time. Meanwhile, his break here.
7 balls, the top half of the table as we look, and nothing finding gravity. Amazing. I mean, he crushed that break.
Now, Max is down 3-0. Do you think he'll take that 1-9 combo to try to win what I call a cheap game?
Well, it's desperation, you
right.
know, and I mean,
right.
it's 3-0. It's not a fun deficit to face, but no time to throw caution to the wind just yet. Mind you, I didn't think he was going to jump the last shot either.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll play. It looks like he's cutting. No, yeah. It looks like he's playing it.
No, he's playing it.
You know, with the space between those balls and the way he laid, even though it laid kind of nice, it was just, I think you called it. He came out good there because Francisco's going to probably kick at this ball. But at 3-0, I don't know that you should be desperate. We saw a deficit erased when they were losing 4-0 and came back and won the match yesterday.
Roberto Gomez and Kevin Chang. Yeah, it was 4-0, 5-2 down. Chang ended up winning 7-5 that match.
He might have made this ball off the 4. I thought it was going to go off the 4. Well, he's made it tough, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure that Max can make this. I don't think he can.
Francisco signaled for a ref immediately as he walked away from the table. We are playing all ball fouls, so if you happen to move, hey, that 9 ball was headed to the right place. Got stopped in its tracks. I don't know. This table being new cloth and playing a little soft, I wouldn't be against banking this 1 ball into the 6. Problem is, how do you play position for it? So this is a better idea. Look at this.
Well, there's the definition of a total eclipse.
three orbits in front of it. I mean, 3 orbs in front of your sun. Below the pocket. This is going to work out. These guys are maneuvering with, you know.
Well, it's a good reply from Max. That's just what he needs. And he needs a chance. He hasn't really gotten to the table yet where the balls have been in the open. Get a chance to get a feel for the conditions. Both players knocked the balls around just a few minutes prior to kicking things off here, but it's never the same when you're under the heat of the match. That's what he needs. He needs a chance to get a feel for things out there and knock some balls in that are meaningful.
Now, see, I like him kicking this 2 rails instead of 1, because if he kicks at 1, he's kicking the ball into the open. Kicks at 2, he might find some cover. He didn't.
Okay, so the first real chance for Max Eberle arrives. And this is all about position from the 1 to the 2. He's got a space between the 7 and the 9. If he wants to try and draw this off 2 cushions back to the middle of the table, just personal preference, how he wants to play this. Well, that's
Slow
a
down.
byproduct of just a premium of table time, George. He just hasn't really had a feel for things yet. And I mean, he had a big window to drop that cue ball.
Sure.
And now he needs another good kick.
Almost. But he came out okay. No, it's gonna leak out.
Yeah, he's making that familiar walk back to that chair a little too often for his liking.
Yeah, Francisco has the whole ball here to work with, and he'll be able to pocket the 2 and leave the cue ball about where the 2 ball is for the 3. Don't think he'll try to do too much. Well, maybe he is. He always looks like he's winding up, but he doesn't. Nice and soft. Little drag shot there.
This is the big shot in this rack for Busty here. If he rolls this down to the bottom corner, he's going to land on the 4. Well, he's hitting them pretty sweet.
So clean.
See, I like this. He's just taking a look. He wants to make sure that he's got the right angle. Because never take anything for granted. Not at this level.
He wants to make sure he doesn't get behind the 9 and yet has an angle to, just slide over for the 6. And it looks pretty doable from here. He's going to have a little bit of a hard time holding it to stay on the right side of this. He'll have to go around, looks like. Yeah, he held it. So we can come straight over. With ease.
Francisco was warming up at the diamond booth on the table there, and I went over and chatted with him a bit. He still loves to compete, loves to play. Until you lose that, you might as well enter as many events as you can. I mean, his name itself strikes fear into a lot of players.
Well, I mean, Francisco's still winning. He won the One Pocket Derby this year. Master of the Table last year. He won the One Pocket Derby, Master of the Table,
He won the Banks in Derby in 17. He's
Oh,
still playing.
We're seeing nothing here to dispute the fact
Yeah.
that he can compete with the best
Yeah.
around.
He's still out there.
At the end of the day, they all occupy the chair the same way. If you're knocking the balls in, and he's looking good. Full value for a 4-0 lead that he enjoys right now. And it's down to Max. Max needs a good break, and he needs everything to unfold to give himself a chance to win a rack. As we've said, a race to 7, and this one has slipped away early.
Well, he's got to start somewhere, and here's a good starting point. Table's not being kind. He's made a ball, but there's a 5 ball. Looks like it's in the way.
Yeah, just to remind everyone too, watching us on YouTube, make sure and share this to all your friends. Let them all know this is the best place to watch top flight pool right now. There's matches all day. I can tell you our next matchup, it'll be directly following this one, John Mora and Skylar Woodward. A couple of young guns.
Oh. They're
So
about the same age, too. No, John is 11. John's 30. I think Skylar is 24.
well, young guns compared
Young
to us,
guns,
George.
very young guns. In fact, I think at the U.S. Open it was John's birthday back in at the end of May. Yeah, May 25th. Skylar, of course, Moscone, MVP. Was he the MVP this past year? Yeah. But Max kicked it to 1. He's done a decent job, but it's available to Francisco, and then there's also 3 balls that at 4, that's 7, 6, and 9, where he can hide the cue ball if he so chooses.
Yeah, that's the problem area right now. Even if a shot does manifest itself, it's not going to be the easiest run out. Now it's made a little easier because he's just poked that 6 into the clear. And in so doing, playing the full ball snooker on Max Eberle.
I like
And
the way you said snooker.
I tried to do it like a British person. I get teased all the time when I say snooker. So I tried to give my props to all my UK friends. But this is a tough one. He's going to be jumping at this because there's really no angle that presents itself to kick at it.
Not with a single rail. He's got he's jumping it. Max is pretty good with a jump cue. He jumped it to the right way too. He actually came out pretty good, except for the 1 ball going back up table. He used the 3 for cover.
Georgie came out pretty good if you're a Francisco Bustamante
That's right.
fan.
What I was saying, well,
It was a good contact. It just again, not a lot of good things happening right now for Max Eberle.
no. You know, had he kicked it past the 2 balls in the middle of the table and it went back up, had it stayed behind those 3 balls that are guarding that corner pocket on the bottom there, it could have worked for him. But Francisco will go to work here, and he's already opened up the 7-6.
Yeah, just that 6 poking out now, and it's available. Just wants to be a little careful where he places his hand. He's very close to that 7.
All ball fouls.
Quick look to confirm where he needs to be to get on that 6 nicely. He's got to be a little careful. More so from the 6 to the 7 than anything else. But this angle will be the one that determines exactly how he plays onto the 7. Yeah, looks like he can just run it off the 2 cushions to play it to the same pocket. Makes it look easy, doesn't he?
He sure does. It's so well played. The speed is so good. He's already showed us 3 or 4 shots where his speed has just been right on point. These 2 balls for a 5-0 lead in a race to 7.
And you're not going to see many 5-0 leads overhauled, not with the alternating break. But when he's had his chances, he's put him in the bank. 5-0 confirmed here from the CSI Arena. Bustamante in complete control as he settles the triangle down and will break in rack number 6.
And we are at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. We're sponsored by Predator, CueSports International, Diamond Billiard Products, Kamui, and Omega Billiards. In case you missed the introduction, they are using the Predator Arcos balls, little triangles on the cue ball. They are using the Predator XK2 cloth. That is so new that their marketing director didn't even know about it. I was over at the Predator booth, and Jessica says, "What? Not supposed to know about that yet." Then I introduced myself. I said, "Well, it tells me all about it right here." Leading 5-0 with one of the best breaks in the business. Look at that 7 spinning in front of the pocket and not dropping.
Once
Unbelievable.
Again,
It's unbelievable.
It's not going to work. The sorcerer trying to will that 7 into the pocket, but no, it's not happening, Francisco.
Was that
at
Poole's
that.
version of Harry Potter?
Look at that ball.
Wow. Wow. What kept it up? What's keeping it up?
So how do you get from the 1 to the 2? They
Max is
entitled
gonna
a
show us,
movie
yeah.
after this shot, Mission Impossible.
And the elevation gets you almost every time, even on pockets that are a little bigger. He missed that by a bit. Elevate and try to draw the ball, what, 8 feet to get on the deuce.
Yeah, and this is no mean feat either. Is he going to try and hit the 2? Can he make the 1 and try and kick the 2?
Looks like he's just spinning over to the outside so he can cut it in the same pocket. He's going to be okay if you like being elevated.
He's going to be okay if you're Max Eberle. Yeah, this doesn't look pretty either.
I think he executes this.
Yeah, you can cue at this.
As long as he stays away from the 5 ball so you can at least see the 3 afterwards. Oh, no, he doesn't. But he, well, he left a little of it sticking out. Max will probably go 2 rails and end up in the same spot. Thin cut on the deuce.
Max is calling Las Vegas home now too, George.
Yes, he does.
And I was mentioning yesterday in one of our broadcasts, with the amount of events that are coming to Vegas, I can see a lot of players spending a lot of time here.
He did not want to catch that 5 ball. He wanted to be up behind that 4-8.
He's got the bank, the 2 into the 7. The opposite side.
He's going to have a hard time running the cue ball around, though, because that 9 ball will stop him. So you have to find something to do with his cue ball. A way to maneuver around it.
Yeah, I had a feeling
He
that
did
2
too.
might
Look at this.
follow the 7 into the side as he left the 3. It's close. You can certainly hit it, but I don't know whether there's enough to make it. Maybe a bank into the other side. Just depends how Busty feels about attacking this situation, but he definitely doesn't look like he can see enough to make it into the corner. And that shot kind of confirms that theory. And the danger trying to bank it is holding for position to the 4. So maybe discretion, the better part of valor here. Oh no.
Went for the bank.
He did go for the bank.
Gave himself a long shot on the 4, but left a piece of the 3 sticking out.
Yeah, things are running pretty good right now.
Yes, they are. I don't see anything positive for Max to do here. There's just, you got to make a hit so you don't give a ball in hand, but what kind of a plan do you use here? You can see the thin part of the 3 ball on the right. Double kissed it. Hard to stay away from that. Wow. Those are the frustrating, a time that turn at the table for him is very frustrating. You're down 5-0 and you get a nothing, not even a glimpse of hope in the shot. There. And from here, Mr. Bustamante more than likely will take care of business.
And unless you've been in the sort of situation that Max Eberle finds himself in right now, he almost can't get away from the table fast enough. He just hasn't had anything go his way. Really hasn't had a break in the match either. That's a little tricky position he's left it. That 8 takes away what would be easy position from the 5 to the 6. So
all I see him doing is extreme draw into the upper right-hand corner, go 2 rails for the 6 and the one on the top there on your right. And he's not doing that. You can see by the units he's using. No. Yep.
didn't quite get into it as much as he wanted to.
Nope. That's a nice shot right there. Even though he got a kiss on the 8, he still has a shot on it.
Test the cueing here, though.
Yes.
Anytime you're near the cushion, you got to deliver that cue straight through the white.
I still cannot get over the way he brings that cue stick through his bridge finger and then back through it again with such accuracy.
Well, he's eyeing it up. He's going to play this into the top left corner. Jeez, what a shot.
Successful.
Center of the pocket. He's
6.
capitalizing on every mistake that comes his way, and there have been a number of them. That's the reason it's 6-0 in favor of Bustamante right now over Max Eberle.
Have we seen Francisco miss a ball yet? I don't recall him missing a shot.
Well, he hasn't missed anything easy.
Yeah, no.
He missed that 2 into the bottom right corner where he was bridging near the 6 in that rack. But it was far from easy, that shot.
Well, Max has to get on the board just for his own sanity. Nobody wants to be, no one wants to lose 7-0. No one wants to lose, for that matter. Three balls on the break, no shot on the deuce.
Yeah, you know what? The way he's going, it wouldn't surprise me to see him jump at this either. Why not? You're 6-0 down.
Yeah. You're going to be kicking into open space. It's hard to get the ball behind something unless you're able to, you know, somehow get that ball underneath the 3-9 or the 8-7 down there after hitting the 2 and sending the 2 ball up, creating space and hopefully cover. So.
Well, now he's looking where he may push. Just take the cue ball up the top end of the table. You got to tip your hat to Max. He's not throwing in the towel. He's going to battle this one through.
I don't see him playing it to the right-hand corner pocket. Played it to that corner pocket. What a nice cut. I wasn't sure that would go by, but it did.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why Max left him that shot. I just assumed the ball didn't go where Max laid the white. He's left him just a gilt-edged opportunity to win the match right here. A little short of what was intended. He's got the right angle. Get back down for the 7 next.
He's going to back cut this ball. With ease.
Yeah, he's given us quite an exhibition of shot-making skill, as Bustamante in this match. He's had plenty of chances to let that back arm go. At 56 years of age, he's like a fine wine.
Still aging beautifully. Pockets this ball, the match is over.
Look at the fly. Well, Max Eberle's fly came to his aid there.
Is it enough to disrupt him? Let's see. It landed right on his finger or his cue. Came right down on it. Wow.
Well, the bleeding stops anyway. It's not going to be the most memorable match for Max Eberle, but it's a 7-0 whitewash at the hands of Francisco Bustamante. So Buste moves on and Eberle to the losers bracket. And next up, folks, around 1 o'clock, it's going to be Johnny Mora and Skylar Woodward.
See you guys then. Thanks for tuning in.